Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shamrock Foods Kitchen Conversations, where we'll talk to Shamrock partners just like you about how they approach the restaurant business, hospitality, how they stay on top of trends to cultivate a successful restaurant business. So I hope you're ready. I see Richard Allen, the big Bruins fan, is ready, and so is Verlin. Thanks for joining us, you guys. So out there in TV land, if you want to join us, join in on the conversation, go ahead and type your comment. We could see those comments and we can respond to your questions. So keep them coming. I'm your host today, Jeff Piven. I'm a business solutions consultant with Shamrock Foods. And today I'm joined with a great Shamrock Foods partner and a great person, Alejandra Chavez, who is the owner and operator of Time Matters in El Paso, Texas. Good afternoon, Alejandra. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining our audience. Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. So let's dig right in. Tell us about your background. You weren't always in the restaurant business. How did you come to be in this food service industry?
Well, food is something I always loved. I always knew I wanted to do something with food, but I decided to take the traditional route, go to college, work in corporate America. And when that didn't really work out the way I had thought, it was a great opportunity for me to finally fulfill my dream and go to culinary school. And I had the opportunity to do culinary school in Italy. And then after that, work a few months down in Oaxaca, Mexico as well. And after all of that was when I finally decided to open what is now Time Matters. And that was back in March 2004. So actually this month is my 17th year in business.
Wow, congratulations. So we were talking earlier and you said you started just catering out of your house and now you've grown it into this amazing business, and looking at the views and the pictures, it looks awesome. So congratulations, you are living the dream, and I'm glad you came over from corporate America to join us. So
thank you.
When we were talking earlier, you told us about your passion for serving others, and I see we've got a lot of comments coming in from Verlin, Anna, and Richard that are really passionate about your brand. Can you tell us where your passion comes for serving others?
Well, I mean, I knew at a very young age that this was what my heart was set out for. I have a heart for serving other people. I am fulfilled anytime that I am able to make someone happy through a dish that I prepare. Ultimately, that's my goal here at Time Matters. And I think that that's what my customers have come to appreciate. That really at Time Matters, we are a full service restaurant, that we know people personally, and that we're happy to serve them and to really, really be a part of this community. So that is really where my heart is, and that is really what I love to do. When the shutdown came back in March, it was really devastating in the sense that we were missing those relationships with our customers.
Well, now hopefully people are going to come back, and I know that people that have been missing you are going to come back in to see you. We've already got some of your fans here that are saying bravo. Let's talk about Time Matters Cuisine, right? Because I've seen some of the pictures; they look incredible, and your background in Italian and Mexican foods. Can you take us through what makes Time Matters Cuisine what it is?
Sure. Well, like I said, I went to culinary school in Italy, so a lot of my foundation is Italian. But I also spent one summer down in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I worked alongside a really good chef there that taught me a lot about, regional Mexican cuisine. And of course, my family is from Mexico, so I always grew up eating Mexican food. But my great-grandparents actually immigrated from Lebanon to Mexico. So we also grew up eating a lot of Lebanese food. So I love adding Mediterranean ingredients to my dishes. And I would say that's really the definition of what Time Matters is. It's a mixture of what I grew up eating and what I really, love to serve my customers. So Mexican, Mediterranean, Italian, and of course, American cuisine, because this is where I grew up in the United States.
All of my favorites too, but it's fantastic that you don't just have a Mexican dish, that you don't just have an Italian dish, but it's all of those flavors melded into one that creates such a dynamic menu that people love and that you love creating, and it's a great synergy, and I really love your menu. So speaking of the menu, you started with lunch and dinner like so many did, right? Yes. But you've had to make changes, and I know that you are half scientist, half artist, right? The Renaissance woman of El Paso. So can you tell us about how did you go about deciding what was going to stay, what had to go, and how did you arrive at this one menu?
Well, it really took a lot of introspection and a lot of analysis. So basically what I did was I printed a product mix report from the last 6 months of my sales. By the way, 2019 was the best year ever for Time Matters. So we had just come out of
Wow.
this great year.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. And so it was really, you know, I had all of these goals already set for 2020, and then the pandemic hit. So we printed out a PMix report and we analyzed, you know, all of our best sellers from the last 6 months. And then, you know, we decided that we were going to condense our lunch and dinner menu to just one single menu. And that was just to facilitate things for the operation, obviously, and also for customers, because we wanted to offer them the opportunity to order, you know, a great, you know, one of our great salads for dinner as well, because the pandemic changed a lot of people's mindsets and people were not always willing to spend just the big bucks on like a filet mignon, for example.
Sure.
So we did it for that reason. We also did it because we wanted to simplify what we were going to do for online ordering. So there was just a lot of different reasons that went behind that. And after we simplified the menu, then we went back and used a great tool that Shamrock offers, which is Menu Wizard. So I went in, made sure all of my recipes were spot on, you know, from the teaspoon of salt, you know, to, you know, my batch recipes, like my marinara sauce, for example. So we just went into Menu Wizard, made sure all of our things were in check. And then we also went ahead and added into Menu Wizard all of our containers that we were going to be using to go, because everything was, you know, planned for a to-go menu at that point.
Right.
We did that. And then, oh, sorry, Jeff. And then we went back to, well, we went back to you know, to Shamrock, and we asked them to do what they call menu engineering. So Ryan was really nice enough to help me with that. So we just sent them the menu, and based on the PMix report and everything else that I'm talking about, you know, they came up with this beautiful new menu with a new design. And that's what we've been using ever since.
Oh, that's awesome. And shout out to Ryan Elmore, fantastic Shamrock consultant out of our Albuquerque office.
Yes.
And Menu Wizard, you know, it should be used because anywhere you have a manufacturing facility, just like a kitchen, you want to know how much everything is going to cost you. But as well as, like you were saying, the to-go boxes, right? Every little piece of paper and plastic and whatever it takes to create that item has got to be accounted for. Super smart. Looking at the product mix out of your POS system is also another way to not just feel what your menu should be, but know by the numbers what should be on that menu.
Right. Versus like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you know, let's just do this. You know, it made sense to do what we were going to do.
Right. And, you know, a lot of operators and a lot of chefs are very passionate about their menu, and they may let some of their emotions kind of take over when deciding what to put on the menu. Like, I really love that dish, but does your customer love that dish? And which, if they're not ordering it, it's creating waste, and we don't have any time or money to waste because we know time matters. Dang. Dad joke. So boom, you're a social media star. You're a social media star. I follow you on Instagram. You're here with me today. Facebook, all of that stuff. You have a big presence. You're doing videos all the time. Is that something that you've always done? I mean, it's so natural.
Actually not. It's completely out of my comfort zone. But I've been told that, you know, that's what people want. You know, they want to see it. So basically, you know, when we opened after the pandemic, people didn't want me just to write it down on Instagram and say, hey, come eat with us. We're safe. Trust us. No, it was, this is me. I'm personally telling you, these are all the steps that we're taking to make sure that your dining experience is going to be safe and that you're going to be well taken care of when you come to Time Matters. And, you know, I really think that made a difference to have a presence on social media, to do those videos and to get people to connect with you in a different way.
Right. And I appreciate that. And just writing it out on Instagram, you know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I would say that a video is worth 1,000,000 words when you're able to come on and connect with your customers in that way. That's fantastic. So of all the changes that you've made, we've talked about the menu and some of the operational things. What changes do you think are going to stick around for Time Matters?
Well, for sure. I mean, for the time being, we're going to stick to that one menu all day. It's just simplified the operation a lot,
Right.
and also, it's very cost effective in terms of inventory. To reduce the amount of things that we're keeping in stock. So for the time being, that's what we're going to continue doing, and of course, we're going to continue the face masks for now. Even though the mandate has been lifted in Texas, we are continuing to do that because we feel that it's the safest thing for all of us involved, for the customers, for our employees, of course, as well as for our community.
Right. So the face masks and the cleanliness and those things
Yes,
are going to continue, right?
absolutely. Sanitizing, disinfecting, all of those common areas. I mean, even the touch screens, the telephones, the door handles, all of those things need to constantly be sanitized, constantly be disinfected. That's just how we roll now.
That's how we roll. Are you keeping like a limited table setup? Have you modified your seating chart? Is that part of the continued sort of stopgap or measures to mitigate the
We are
spread
doing
in the
that,
restaurant?
Ryan. I mean, sorry, we are doing that, Jeff. But we're at an advantage because at Time Matters, we have 3 separate seating areas. So we have our beautiful patio, which the weather's getting warmer now. And so it's great for outdoor seating and it's very spacious. So people can social distance and they'll be fine. Then we have our downstairs seating area and we have eliminated some tables. So we are doing limited capacity downstairs. And then we have our upstairs private dining room, which we've used for meetings in the past or special occasions like
Right.
baby showers and all of that. And right now we're using all 3 areas, in an effective way so that we can seat more people, but still be able to social distance and keep people at a safe, in a safe environment.
That's excellent, and it's smart. And I was just at breakfast with 2 other of my colleagues this morning, and we were talking about how are some of the customer behaviors around safety going to continue even after the pandemic numbers have come down. So I applaud you, and for those of you watching, keep in mind what your customers want and what makes them feel comfortable, because that is how they're going to feel welcomed back. Despite, like you were saying, we're back to 100%, but that doesn't mean we have to open to 100% and jam as many people in as we possibly can.
And I would just like to point out that, ever since we opened, I mean, I was really impressed by the fact that some of my customers would come and say, for example, this is, we're going out to eat, but we're only coming here, because we trust you with our health. I mean, that's huge for someone to say that,
Right.
And just today, just at lunchtime, we had a good lunch crowd today. I was talking to different customers and one of them said, this is the first time I've come out in a year because I got vaccinated and this is the first time. And she chose to come here. And you know what? It really is an honor. But it's something that we have to be diligent about because we obviously want to maintain, that trust and confidence from our customers for sure.
Absolutely. And that's part of, your core value to be a good steward and a good citizen within your community. I think it's really important. So, hey, Vivi is asking, what is your profile name on Instagram? It is actually just Time Matters. So go into the search bar, hit Time Matters, and take a look at all of these beautiful pictures. The Mexican salad that was just featured yesterday. I wish I lived closer to El Paso. It's a bit of a drive from Phoenix, but
one day soon.
Someday soon, for sure. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to Shamrock Foods Kitchen Conversations. I'm Jeff Piven, business restaurant consultant with Shamrock Foods here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm joined today with Alejandra Chavez, who's the owner and chef of Time Matters in El Paso, Texas. If you have questions, look down below in the comments section and you can see that we've got a number of supporting comments, a handful of questions. We're going to address them here if anybody has something to say, or we can get to you after the feed is over. I will get in there and look at those questions too. So let's talk about Shamrock Menu Wizard for just a second, because I think we
Okay.
kind of glazed over that. For those of you out there, Shamrock Menu Wizard is a program that will take all of the items that you've purchased or things that are in your order guide, as well as things from other vendors or wherever you get these things from. You can put them into this piece of software. It's totally free. It's the same login as your Shamrock orders, and you can actually cost every dish, including the to-go packaging and all of those other things, and you can take inventory. You can do all of these amazing things with it. So you should get on there and check it out. Check it out. I think that Menu Wizard and your profitability has helped you engineer your menu, has helped you get to a place where you can effectively open your restaurant, provide profitability for your sustainability, and keep the customer happy too. So an excellent kind of triangle of help there. So what other Shamrock resources? You mentioned Ryan. Talk to me about how the menu design happened. You use the Shamrock Menu Studio, is that right?
It's something they call menu engineering. So
Okay.
it's really great because they also are able to place certain things from your menu in certain areas of the printout,
Right.
to catch the eye. So like if something's at the bottom of the page, or maybe if something's squared off, things like that. They have these little, ideas that they give us, and you translate them onto a page, and apparently, whatever you want to sell the most, if you're lucky, sometimes that will happen, given all this menu engineering. So there's a science behind how menus are planned out and how they're printed. Basically, that's the gist of it.
True that. And you had your Shamrock representative help you with that, and I can attest. I know that classically you have the item and you have the price. There's some tricks with tucking the price in because of how the mind picks what it's looking for
Yes.
on the menu. If you throw a price in there, it engages a different part of the mind that's not hungry. It's maybe thinking about its wallet. So menu engineering, ask your Shamrock representative today. You're a big part of the El Paso community.
Yes.
El Paso Community Foundation. You've got the Civic Center Hospital that we were talking about. Latinas in Business. Can you tell me more about those and why those are so important to you?
Okay. Well, something that I discovered, during the pandemic. I mean, for me, when we speak about the pandemic, I mean, I can't just think of it as like one thing. For me, it's all happened in phases, and at first, we were completely shut down. And then I was selling things, out of the front of the house. I built up a little marketplace here at Time Matters,
Right.
and I was selling things to customers. And then we wanted to help the community because, a lot of people were hurting. There was a lot of fear out there. So we partnered up with a few different organizations. One was called Comfort Catering, where we did these snack baskets for nurses stations around town in different area hospitals.
Cool.
We also partnered up with Amigo Kidney Foundation. We did these grocery baskets for really high risk patients that didn't want to, go to the store to buy things, and that they were having a hard time sourcing items. So we did grocery baskets for them. And then we also partnered with the El Paso Community Foundation. We were able to feed an entire hospital. So it was hundreds and hundreds of people at University Medical Center. And then something else that we did that was really, really, really fun and very gratifying was cooking Thanksgiving meals for frontline heroes. And so instead of me cooking meals for people to take home, I decided to open it up on my Facebook and Instagram and have people donate. So a lot of people wanted to help, but they didn't know exactly how they could do it. And this was a perfect way to give back, to say thank you to those people that were sacrificing so much to keep us safe. And so I opened it up. I got a lot of donations. And then I reached out to Rafael Gamon, the district manager here in El Paso, and I said, how will Shamrock help us help others? Because I really believe that it's very important to help other people. And Shamrock was very generous enough to donate all of the drinks that we put into the Thanksgiving meal bags. And we donated to 4 different area hospitals. And on Thanksgiving Day, it was a family project that my husband Ivan and I did with our kids and my staff here at Time Matters. And it was very, very gratifying. And just helping the community, I think, makes us all stronger. And we were very, very privileged to do it. So those are just a few of the things that we've been doing throughout this time.
Oh, that's amazing. And, you know, people gave so much. Our frontline workers gave so much during Thanksgiving and the holidays when we just want to be with family and they could not be with family. And what you said
Absolutely.
to me, what you said to me when we first spoke was that you give to get happiness. And that really resonated with me. And I've been thinking about that since you said it to me. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Well, I mean, the science is actually behind it. I mean, if you want to be happier instead of looking inward, I believe wholeheartedly, excuse me, that it's very important to give to others, to look outward. And
Right.
so, you know, like in that time that we were doing the Thanksgiving meals, or we were cooking for, you know, for the area hospitals, for University Medical Center, I told my staff, you know, the science is behind. We're doing something for other people that are in need right now. This will make you happier. So I believe in looking outward and not looking inward to find that happiness that you're looking for.
I agree 100%. And I think it's fantastic advice in any industry, but especially the restaurant industry, which we all hold
Yes.
so near and dear to our hearts. What advice do you have for our viewers out there to help them succeed right now?
Well, I mean, of course, the times that we know they're challenging for us, especially it was because we are a full service restaurant. And at the end of the day, you know, we feed off of the energy of our customers. So for us, it wasn't enough to just hand someone a bag and say, you know, enjoy this at home. Because we were missing those connections with people. And I really feel that food is a channel to connect to people and also to heal. And when we're talking about getting life back to normal, I think a lot of what we're craving, and of course, you know, no pun intended, but a lot of what we're craving are those connections, and is getting back to some sense of normalcy, and to sit down at a table and enjoy a meal with friends and family and talk, you know, even if it's just about your day or anything in particular. And so this is my passion. I love what I do. I want to serve people. I want to give them a full dining experience that makes them happy. And we've been doing that for 17 years in El Paso. And we are very, very glad that things are slowly returning back to what we call normal.
Right. Well, we like to say, instead of new normal, the new better.
Yes.
You know, the word restaurant comes, the root of it is to restore. And that's really what you're doing there with all of this community outreach, and always with the great hospitality and food, is you're restoring your community. So I think it's fantastic, and kudos to you.
I love that. I love that you
and
just
you're
said
being
that.
embraced by the community. Look at all these awesome comments down here. Everyone's going nuts that you're on today.
Nice to
it.
see everybody. I want to give a shout out to Verlin, who helped me reopen, to Alex, who's helping me now, you know, from Shamrock, and Alex Hernandez. Both of them, you know, just the whole Shamrock team has really come behind me to support me during, you know, the transitions. And like I said, there's been several, because we had a second shutdown in October, you know, so there's just been different things going on, and I've just reached out to get that support that I needed, and it really takes a team to make it happen.
Well, we're happy and blessed to have the opportunity to be there for you and your community. So thank you for that opportunity. On a different note, let's talk about food. At Shamrock,
Okay.
we are a food company. We also have a dairy with a lot of fantastic products coming out of our farm just to the south of us here. Can you take me through a dish you just love right now? We're in a seasonal transition. So tell me what kind of food, or what food item is on your mind right now.
Well, yes, the weather's getting warmer. A dish that's a favorite at Time Matters, and people order it. Well, it's on the menu as an appetizer, but people order it as an entree as well, is our tuna ceviche. It's fresh ahi tuna with a lot of the local flavors, you know, chipotle and things like that, avocado. It's something that people love, especially if they're health conscious. It's one of those dishes where it says, you know, food that loves you back.
For sure. It's healthy, it's cool, it's refreshing. I hope it doesn't get too hot too soon, I know in El Paso can get pretty hot, as well as you have a bit of humidity down there, which kind of scares me. So finally, as we wrap up here, take us through what's happening with Time Matters in 2021. How are you going to keep it fresh to get customers to come back?
Okay, well, right now we're making an investment, to our patio area, like I said, because we want to revamp it. We want to make it super nice for people to enjoy their next meal. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. I believe in the freshness of food, and freshness of everything, vegetables. The difference of going through a drive-through versus having someone make it when you order it, and
Right.
actually putting in the time and effort to kind of build those flavors. To me, that's so important, to build flavors, so that when you get a dish, you think, wow, this is what I was missing, during this pandemic. So we just want to get people back to be excited about food, to be excited, to be, in places that they're very familiar with, to see familiar faces, because we've missed a
Right.
lot of our customers that we haven't seen, and that we love. We'd love to see them back.
Well, I know there's probably not a lot of people making tuna ceviche at home. That sounds amazing. And I know I personally go out to eat to places where I can get things that I can't make. Keep on making those dishes. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thanks for being on the show today. And thank you everyone out there for joining us today on Shamrock Foods Kitchen Conversations. Thanks again, Alejandra. Best of luck
Thank you.
this summer. We're going to come out and visit when they let us leave our city and town for business. So hopefully that'll be soon.
Yeah.
Keep your comments coming. There's Verlin's commenting feverishly in here. He's missing you. And Angelica, thank you for commenting. Elizabeth Rodriguez, thank you for commenting. Dan Gilpatrick, I haven't heard from you in a while. He says El Paso strong. We love you.
That's right, El Paso strong. Yes.
Awesome.
Love you back.
Well, it's good to hear from Dan. It's been a while since I've heard from you, brother. Well, that's going to be it for today's show. Thanks again, Alejandra. I really appreciate you being on. And keep the comments coming. We're still going to get in there and answer those questions. And we'll see everyone back here for our next Kitchen Conversations. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. God bless. Thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you to all the Shamrock family.
It's our pleasure.